Alright, welcome to my Tower Defense X tier list. Let's just get straight into it, alright? Ranger, D tier, both path. They have no purpose unless you're a beginner. But if you're a beginner, I don't know why you're playing endless mode, unless you're getting carried or something. But yeah. Cyro Ranger. I'm putting this guy in D tier and this guy in bottom of C tier. Both of them kind of suck as well. They're not good for freezing. They don't have good DPS. But I'm putting this guy at the top because at least he throws grenades. And that's about it. Shotgunners, let's put this is the stun immunity one, let's put him in B tier. The healing one, I'm gonna put him in C tier. Now, the healing one, although it's good if you have him, you know, like a player who can heal everything, but you probably have a healing field as well, and that completely just replaces this guy. At least this guy can, you know, unstun your towers, and that's pretty good. If you have a beginner with this, he can be pretty useful. Ghost, I'm gonna put in B tier. I'm gonna put the Humvee one in E tier as well. They're alright DPSs, but I don't know why you would use them really, unless you're a beginner again. If you're a beginner, then use them. They're pretty good towers, you know, good DPS for their price. But they don't really serve much of a purpose, so that's about it. This guy, okay, this guy is going into C tier. I think this is the bad one. This is the one that's like bad, right? This is the one that places mines that sucks and don't burden, don't last. This one, however, is going into A tier because it's more damage and it burns and all that. And the best part is the only reason this guy's in A tier is because it's like a last resort kind of thing, and it's good against Multiplier X, the guy who runs ultra fast into your base with 1,000,000 health. This guy can be pretty clutch, you know, do a bunch of damage right before he gets into your base. Okay, next up we got Sniper. Both going into C tier. Going into C. Well, what the hell did I just say? They're going into C tier because they are very squishy. They don't have a great DPS, and although they have the flare gun, that thing gets outclassed by Warship and, you know, recon drones. So yeah, they're going to C tier. This guy, I'm putting him in like B tier, bottom B tier, maybe B tier, yeah. This guy is not the best one. You want to get this guy. This guy is great, putting him there because he freezes enemies. Super good on that one wave, like what, wave 134? The one with a bunch of Plague Guardians and a bunch of like mutated zombies. Really good on that wave, you can freeze them. Super good utility. Have a guy who brings them. Missile Troopers, I'll put them in top of B, or like for now. Put him in here. Javelin, I'm sorry Javelin, but you're going like worse in the bottom path just because it's endless mode. And you don't really need that much range, and you don't have as much DPS. And since these guys have no utility and they're just stat sticks, that's why I'm putting him here. That's why bottom path is better. It's just a better stat stick. Next up, okay, I don't know how to rate the boats, alright? I've never ever used this guy outside of like research base once on expert mode, and they were like meh. I mainly use the top path because it's flamethrower. Wait, no, bottom path, I forgot. I used the one with a flamethrower, alright? And that was alright because a lot of the later enemies don't have flame resistance, so I don't know, put this guy here, and I'll put this guy over here. I don't know how to place the boats, alright? People who use boats in endless mode, tell me what you think. Farm, top path is S tier, oh my god. It's so good. It technically counts as a DPS, you know, because by the time you reach later waves, you're gonna have like, I don't know, like 300,000 health on your base or something like that. Or like, maybe not that much, I forgot, but you have a bunch of health on your base who can tank a bit. You got like, bottom path, I don't know how to rate them. I'll put it in D, alright? Actually, no. There's probably a good usage for it or something, so I'm just gonna put it in bottom of B. You might be able to, like, I don't know, farm up for using your bottom path and then sell it and replace it with that. I don't know if that's faster or something. There's probably a strategy or something like that, but top path so surpasses it in every way possible. It heals, it gets more money if you have a bunch of them together. So yeah. Okay, Barrack Rail Trooper. Let's put you here. Let's put this guy here. Actually, I'm putting him over here. The Rail Trooper here. The only reason why I put the Flamethrower Troopers above the actual Rail Troopers is because it does fire damage, which is better than the Rail Troopers because they do, I think, laser damage. And you have a bunch of laser resistance enemies later on, so yeah. And you got missiles here as well. So yeah, it's just alright. This guy is crap. I'm putting him in B tier. I don't know why you use him against like the other Grenadier. I think they have like almost the same DPS or something like that, and this guy has no utility, he just does more damage. So yeah, I'm pretty sure he can hit more enemies or something, but this guy goes in S tier. Stunning enemies is crazy. You don't have to micro him either, you just have to sell and replace if he dies and all that. He is kind of squishy, so yeah, but he does not stun really strong enemies like anti-golems and stuff, and just for that he's going into A tier, but not S tier. EDJ, both in S tier. I don't think I gotta explain. Buff and selling money worth, all of that, really good. John as well in S tier, that buff is great as well. I don't think I have to explain that, but this guy, I'm putting him in bottom of A tier. Just because, if you're bringing John, you might just as well leave like one space to like place a John, use his ability, sell, and then place it again, use ability and sell. If you're really fast at that, that's like I don't know, like 2000 DPS or something, just from you spam clicking. It's only good if you're, you know, really good at microing. If you're bad at microing, he's probably like a B tier or something. Speaking of B tier, both laser gunners go in B tier. They are pretty bad now. I'm sorry they fell off so much. They got power creep by golden towers. They're not the best laser towers anymore. They're not even cool. I'm sorry, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Top Path Toxicator, he is bad, bro. I'm putting him in D tier. I'm sorry. He just falls off really bad. He doesn't do enough damage to suffice. And, you know, you could probably put him in C tier, but just because I hate him so much, he's going in D. But Bottom Path, with the buff that debuffs enemies, you know, that little poison grenade, that thing is great. Do 30% more damage against a lot of enemies and 10% against bosses. That's so great. I'm gonna put him there. Skyhawk, let's put you here. I don't know, top of B tier. Alright, I'm sorry, artillery. I love artillery. They're really good in normal mode, but oh man, they fall off so hard in endless mode. Skyhawk is still decent, does a lot of damage and all that, but it is explosive damage. And if you have Battleship, that completely outclasses him, or even Bottom Path Turret, alright? Just for that, and you have to micro him, he's going to B tier. Top Path is even worse, I'm putting him in low B tier, because he is super squishy and he has pretty crap DPS. Next up, Juggernaut. Oh man, I don't know how to rank Juggernaut. I don't know how to rank. Alright, next up, Juggernaut. I have no clue how to rank this guy. Let's just put this guy in A tier, alright? Put this one in B tier. The only reason why he's in A tier and not like higher or lower is because he does bullet damage. Bullet damage is really hard to come by, and the only towers you have like that have bullet tower later on is probably like your turret and John, and that's really useful. You want bullet damage, alright? Because later enemies like anti-golem Assylians, they have a bunch of laser resistance. Just for that, he's going into A tier, and plus he's a pretty solid tower, alright? I know a lot of people hate people who have normal Juggernaut. I don't get it, alright? He's a pretty good tower. I'm gonna put Railgunner here as well. He's a boss killer. He's not the best at boss killing anymore, but you know, he's still like alright. But his Bottom Path, oh man, I can't say the same for Bottom Path. You're gonna go with your fellow laser guys here. It's just, I don't know why you would use him. I don't get it. He's not great. Yeah, stealth detection, I guess, but you have recon drones and all that. So yeah, Worship. Alright, putting Worship up here. I don't really know how to rank the S tiers because they're all really good, so I'm gonna put both Worship in, Battleship in S tier. I don't have to explain these one. They're really good, best boss killer and best like crowd control, damage, all that, you know, really good. Tanks. I'm gonna put you in A tier maybe. But I don't know where to put them. The only reason why I put them there is because of the MRAP, which is really good for early and mid game for solos. And the Bradleys are really good later as well in like mid game in the solo as well. So I don't know how to put them. I guess I'll put them here. They're both really weird towers because if you're doing quad and you just have one guy who brings them, they're not that great. But if you're doing solo, they have a lot of value. So that's why they're going into A tier because they're kind of hard to rank. Turret, Top Path Turret going into S tier, and Bottom Path. Oh man, I can't put it. Go. Bottom Path Turret going into A tier, probably over here. I don't know if that's controversial, but I don't really like the missile throwing like turret. It's not that great, alright? Because it does explosive. You got battleships for that already. And the turrets are there in S tier because it's bullet damage, highest bullet damage compared to like, I'm pretty sure it's better than Juggernaut. I hope my mind is working today, but yeah, they have a bunch of health because they can rebuild itself, has a really good range, so you can place him far from your like actual defense and still gets a bunch of value. So yeah, S tier. I'm so glad they buffed it because it was so bad before. And here we go. Top Path. you are going probably here. Top path range Golden Ranger is pretty crap, alright? This is the one I think without grenades. It's just a stat stick and it does laser damage, and I don't really like that because it's not the best at laser damage. It's just better than the laser gunners, I think. However, bottom path with the grenade is going into S tier. I gotta explain this one, alright? So, in later waves when you have anti-golems and assiliants, John spaced them enough so they don't get all splashed, but this guy, if you throw the grenade and hits the first guy, it stuns them, and the second and third guy follows up closer to the first guy. So slowly and slowly makes them group up together so your battleships and warships can shoot them all together. And that's something the Grenadier can't do, because I don't think it can't stun every enemy. And plus, it's just good for delaying stuff as well, you know, stunning bosses and all that. Just really good utility. Top S tier. Okay, we got Juggernaut, Golden Juggernaut, top path. I'll put him with the top path, normal Juggernaut. The only reason you would use him is because there are laser enemies, you know, like the Cillians, that your Juggernaut can't do anything with, so you gotta sell and use these guys. And they're not that great, alright? They have pretty good range. They have, I'm pretty sure, less DPS than the Juggernauts, but that has more range, so I guess they're kind of equal. You could probably interchange these two, but yeah. Bottom path. Oh boy, this thing's completely strong as hell. I don't know, put him here. I don't really know how to change around the S tier. Everything in S tier is S tier, and yeah. I don't have to explain Golden Juggernaut, the bottom path. It's the best, like, you know, troop DPS that you place down. It's a huge stat stick, and yeah, that's about it, I think. That's my final tier list. If you guys got any opinions, I'm pretty sure all of you guys are gonna scream at me in the comments for putting, like, your favorite tower in, like, I don't know, B tier or something. This is my endless tier list, alright? That's it for the video. Sicko mode. Bye.